Welcome back, Tyler Talks. I'm going to be honest with y'all, I did this whole video already, and it was like right at the very end. Man, I didn't love it. I didn't love it. A lot of aspects I liked about it, but you guys deserve the best. And then I was trying to rush it because I had a dental appointment. I got my Invisalign. It feels very weird. But let me introduce you all to the Purple Brigade. Most people don't know that this brigade exists, so want to put that out there. This deck is not legal. It is 52 cards with a 12-card reserve. I am just testing, so I will bring it down as I continue to test. But as of now, I do like testing illegal decks. So this is a lot of fun. It's very strong, and there is a competitive edge when your opponent doesn't really know what your brigade does or what you're trying to do, but you do, and it's not like craziness. Like it makes sense. Sorry if I sound a little weird. These retainers are interesting. So yeah, there is credibility and a competitive edge to where if your opponent, like, there's no predictability, they don't know what you're doing. That's very strong, especially when what you're doing is good. That makes it even better. So I had been talking about Persians. That's a tough one to say with these retainers in. I have talked about Persians before, and I believe Justin Alstead is on Persians. I know Jay likes them, and I believe Jaden as well. So usually you throw those names around and a theme that they like or think is good. That means that it's good. So first we'll go over the Persian aspect of what I'm doing. We'll just go card by card real quick. Queen Vashti, ignore male royalty, which is really good if they ban to my offense. I do have a character that kind of shuts that down. If blocking, you may negate a card or draw 3, which is really good right now with Nazareth and stuff like that out. It's just a blanket negate. That is phenomenal. I could either negate or I can draw. And then the draw is X based on your... Oh, it's not your, it's just females in play. So I do have Gomer, Zeresh, Vashti. I used to have Esther. Took her out. It feels so bad to take Esther out of this deck with Persians and Vashti. You got to have Esther to keep Vashti in check. But, yeah, real disappointed about that. But we'll talk about it. And then I can ban to an evil OT female. That can be Gomer or Zeresh, and I can do a lot with based on who I ban to. We'll talk about that in a second. Haman, negate characters except Persians, which I have 1, 2, 3, 4 that are Persians, and then I have really a CBN character, and 2 exchangers and a lying prophet. So I'm not going to negate my characters with Haman. I'm going to negate your characters. And then I get to either draw 1 or take an evil Esther card from deck or reserve now that we have Zeresh. So I can take Haman's Boasting, Haman's Plot, Irrational Rage, Honor Thy Enemy. Oh yeah, it's just those 2. So 2 in main deck, 2 in reserve, or I can take my characters. So very good. Haman can get you a lot of stuff. Haman, grabbing Haman's Boasting is insane. Zeresh, look at the top 6, take up to 1 evil card, ban to Haman, amazing. We're going to put all these pieces together in a second. King Xerxes, play an evil OT Fortress from reserve. So I have 2 in there. Babel is a negate, so that means it interrupts, and then it's an ongoing prevent. So when it comes in, it interrupts. That's the negate portion. So being able to block with Xerxes and then go to Babel is really good, because I get to, theoretically, you have characters out, and then I come in and drop the interrupt and the ongoing prevent. So I really like that. Or I drop Sheol and have to add to battle. I then get to, if opponent has play advantage, I get to set aside X cards in their territory for X turns. Now I have Amalekite Slave and the Deceiver. So if you get off to this crazy start and you go first, I can set aside some of your key cards right up front with Xerxes. I can ban to a human Persian at CBI. So I know Persians really need Humble Lawful. So his CBI, if you have hand advantage, becomes a CBN because they become CBP. So I get CBI plus CBP equals CBN. Pretty nice. So I do like that portion. So I get to have a CBI on Haman. So Humble, I got a CBN Haman. Same with Xerxes. Very strong. Gomer can then go to Lying Prophet, or Gomer, if I go like Xerxes to Queen Vashti to Gomer, I could also, Gomer bans to an evil male, so I can ban to yours. I can ban to Lying Prophet, who's very good right now. Being able to discard Captain of the Host is very good. And there's prophets everywhere. Most offenses will have at least one. And I can go to Amalekite Slave, or I can go to the Deceiver. So it's an evil male, not a human, not Old Testament or anything. I am also using the Legacy Rare Amalekite Slave because it doesn't have the OT identifier, which doesn't matter in this deck. But that's something to, just consider. If you're used to the old Amalekite Slave playing on Lackey, and then you don't have this Amalekite Slave and you have roots and you're playing a GOC defense, it's not going to help you. I also have both Deceiver and Amalekite Slave because I'm really trying to get this band going. So what we're trying to do is, we could put Gomer in at the beginning or the end or whatever, but we like Xerxes. We like to play Babbler Sheol. We like to play advantage. If you have it, I get just a free massive ability. Then I get to ban to a human Persian. I go to Vashti. This is not a good defense when you just get Invisalign in. So, to explain. But yeah, then I go to Vashti. I get the Ignore Male Royalty. That does actually matter right now. And then I could, like I said, having the negate is huge. Or draw. I love a negate or a draw. And then I get the ban to an evil OT female. It can be Gomer, and then Gomer can finish off the ban to any of these people. Or Haman. Then I go to Zeresh. Look at the top 6, take 1, ban to Haman. And then Haman gets the negate, which does not affect this band whatsoever. And then I can draw 1 or take an evil Esther card, which could be any of my characters, can be Haman's Boasting, Haman's Plot, Honor Thy Enemy, or Irrational Rage for deck or reserve. So let's count. I get the evil OT Fortress, that's 1 card. I get the potential draw 3, that's 4 cards. I get to look at the top 6, take 1. That's 5 cards. And then I get to go to Haman. That's 6 cards. Haman can go to Haman's Boasting. You can play something. I can interrupt. I can take an Evil Fortress or Persian from reserve, which could be Persian Horseman. That's 7 cards. I then can interrupt, draw 3. That's 10 cards. And I can play an OT Enhancement. So that's huge. The other thing you'll see is I have King Jehu that can be used as good and evil, and I'm going to be honest with you, I use him as both. I talked about this before in my video. Jaden brought it up in his video saying he likes using Jehu as both, saying that I had it in a video of mine that it's just a very sneaky play. You usually only see Jehu as good. The fact that I can use him as both is very good. So I can start this whole ban with Jehu, and then he's out of battle. His abilities resolved and all that. So he exchanges, and then Haman comes in. So I'd have to go see what exactly is undone by Jehu. So I'll look into that. I kind of didn't think about that, but the fact that I can have Jehu's sword, come in and then go into a whole band, and then when I attack, I can just bounce them. Is really good. I do need one more bounce. I think Book of the Law comes in here. It's like I said, it's at 52, so maybe we'll take something out and bring Book of the Law in. I really like Book of the Law, and I really want this deck to be 50 cards, legal, a 10-card reserve, 50 cards with Hopper and Book of the Law, and I think an enhancement has to come out for that. I hate to do it. I kind of know what needs to come out. I just don't want to do it. But that's all right. But yeah, either way, we want the double bounce for Jehu. But yeah, I can get 10 cards here. I can hit you with Jehu, and I get this huge net gain. And then I can draw 3, play the next. I have a potential CBN, a CBN, a CBN that goes into a very hard to negate battle winner that I use as a curse to activate and underdeck a hero. I used to have Esther in here to help me get out my evil. But Esther protects OT heroes from discard, which I really liked, having that blanket protection in territory. But this card is too good. Haemon's Plot's too good to, if they're playing Wilderness or Musicians or some Prophets or Warriors or Patriarchs or just blue in general. There's too many good offenses. Clay, which Clay doesn't care. They're going to protect themselves anyway, right? There's too many good offenses that Esther would protect all their heroes from discard, and I don't get a Haemon's Plot off. So I took her out. Esther from Prophecies of Christ is phenomenal right now. She almost single-handedly wipes out the gray defense that you see right now being heavily played, just because all of them say like CBN on there. So she's very good. It was just tough to get her in when I really want the pretty much John the Fisherman came in. I'll show you why. But yeah, this band's very good. This defense I really like it. I like the Jehu swap. I like Jehu on evil. Being able to hit your evil when I block is very, very strong. I can get resources. I can draw. I can get out this band quickly. It's just really tough to get around. And then Great White Throne getting out Jehu and King Saul's good. Buckler, same thing. I can get out Jehu or King Saul. Having those dual is really, really good. I would hope to see more like King of Judah stuff one day. Or maybe like a couple beef ups to King of Judah. This is what this deck originally started as a King of Judah, Meek, Gates of Jerusalem deck, where it was just like all dual alignment stuff. And it was really cool. It was just real clunky and slow, and it was really reliant on protecting lost souls. So I had the other Melchizedek in here, and it wasn't working. I didn't commit the time to make it work. So yeah, I kept the idea of the deck of a little bit of the alignment. But overall, the deck really tries to take out your resources. Haemon's Plot, being able to play Descent against Moses, and then going back to Deserving Scorn. Stocks, Deceiver to Woman as Snares, very good. King Xerxes, Haemon going into Irrational Rage, and I have 4, potentially 5 Persians. I can set aside 5 of your characters for 5 turns. That's insane. I think I said Stocks, but that's 2 of your characters. I'm playing Stocks in just about every deck. I think Caden is as well. You may capture a character, limit twice. This is not a limit twice per game. So I had Uza in here, but I had like a 16 card reserve. I had to start taking stuff out. If you can Uza Stocks, you can reset it. I mean, I'll go double check, make sure that we didn't change anything to limit. But limit twice can be reset. Per game is a hard limit. Holy Grail is a hard limit. Stocks is not. So I can use Stocks, and then I can block with Uza. I can underdeck Stocks. I could also play Lost Child Found with like Esther, or like maybe I just go white purple and there's Mordecai and Esther, and I can band in Armor Bearer can band in Mordecai, and I could have CBN enhancements. Like I think white purple is a thing. So there's something there. But if I can bounce Zion and Stocks and get additional uses, that's really, really good. So I do think maybe bouncing Stocks is too cute because you're getting 1 additional capture, but it's not bad. I have a lot of ways to heroes. Like I said, Great White Throne. Darkness and Lawless can both give me King Saul and Jehu. I have David's Tent. I have Covenant with David to get out Zion and David's Tent, or I could take a king from deck. I have Zion, Crowd's Choice, Buckler. So plenty of ways to get out heroes. I didn't go heavy hero. I went a little bit heavier enhancements. And then it's just a lot of protection and negate. So I really like it. It's a lot of fun. This band is pretty tough to get around, especially when I just have negates and CBN stuff to play. If I can bring in that woman as snares off a deceiver, that's very strong. And I can just capture all evil humans in your territory. And like I said, you're blocking with Jehu. You have Haman's plot. You have stocks. Murderous command. I'm thinking about taking out crowd's choice for martyr. I'm not sure yet. I just kind of like a couple. There's plenty of cards that I like to have, so being able to have any one of those, specifically characters, is good. But we'll see. I did have the underdeck a Lost Soul, or underdeck a card from hand to draw one, because if I draw opening hand Walking on Water, I can just play that Lost Soul, underdeck Walking on Water, and draw one, because I don't really care for Walking on Water turn one. I really like John the Fisherman Walking on Water into Testing Solomon after I tossed one. The other thing I have is this big band, and I end with Jehu, because I can go into the band and Jehu can be evil, and I can bounce Jehu. I don't care if he has his weapon. I mean, I'd like to have that, but I don't care if he has his weapon. I want to bounce Jehu, band to Jehu, and then exchange to John. So I have this big band that tosses the next, and I get the draw two. I found that purple didn't actually have enough drawing power that I wanted, so being able to finish the band that's protected with a draw two, toss next was really good. Most of the time my band is going to be King Saul with probably sling stones or shields on them. And then I go to Armor Bearer. I can go to David. David can go to Joshua. Joshua can flip, go to Jehoshaphat. And then I'll end the band with Prince Jonathan, where I get to take a card and protect David. I try to get shields in there, get shields on Armor Bearer, and then I just have this like protected beast that's just getting out. I want more. I want one more purple card in here, because if I can get out another interrupt, that's really good. Even if it's like Covenant with Adam. I don't have Faith of David in here, and I don't have You Will Remain. I think those need to come in. I really like the Melchizedek. I talked to Derek Torado before, and he knows he knows warriors very well. He's like, you got to make a weapon that protects lost souls or a hero or something from evil cards. Well, there's Melchizedek. I mean, it's not bad. So, I really like Melchizedek out, and a lot of royalty to where Zion's. Hopefully, I grab Zion early. I could go David's Harp and play, since I have Reach and Walking on Water. I used to have The Lord Goes Before You in reserve, and I really like it. I can't fit everything, and this is pretty D. This is D heavy on the reserve. So maybe Woman of Snares comes out. I hate to say it, but maybe Woman of Snares comes out. And I'm still at 12. I'm still at 11 cards in reserve. So Babel, really fun, especially when I have Xerxes and Haman's Boasting. I like having the two targets, especially when they're this good, to get that just that free play for Fortress is amazing. So we'll see. But yeah, the offense is really good. I have a lot of protection. And if I don't end with Prince Jonathan, I end with Jehu, like Jehoshaphat bounces, band to Jehu. Jehu switches to John. I have the potential to to toss the next and draw two. So I get a draw one. I get a draw two. Or I have a draw one and I have Prince Jonathan that takes from reserve. So I constantly can get resources. John the Fisherman's really good with King Jehu with a weapon. Go to John the Fisherman. They have to discard for Jehu shenanigans. Go to John, toss the next, draw 2, play Walking on Water. Go to Testing Solomon, very good. Or Acts of Solomon on John the Fisherman is very good. Also, Valley Assault does not need to be played on an Old Testament or a warrior or anything. It is just an interrupt, discard up to X. X is number of your good OT warriors. So I can go John, and if for some reason they give me initiative, I can go straight into a Valley Assault or Walking on Water. If they play something, I can negate it, show a dominant, play Valley Assault from my reserve. That is very strong, especially if I have initiative. So I have a bunch of protection, tossing the first, being protected from stuff, drawing with a bunch of interrupts, Jehu shenanigans, strong bands. I could also Great White Throne you to where it's just one character in battle. I do enjoy doing that. A lot of territory control based on Woman as Snares and Stocks and Jehu and Haman's Plot. Just a lot I can do. Same with Murderous Command. So really fun deck. This is a lot of fun to play, and your opponent will not know unless I have been getting more views, so I'm all for that. So unless people start watching this, you can take this deck and modify it, whatever you want. But just having a Persian defense and a purple offense gives you a competitive edge because they just don't know how to play against it. They don't know what it does. One last point. It's December 19th next week, going into Christmas on Monday. So there's a lot of volunteer work that goes into this game. John Hendricks is doing the Christmas card swap. He started that 3 years ago, I believe. We have 80 people this year doing it. That's phenomenal. John works his butt off, and he does the podcast. Then he takes on the Christmas card swap, and he's got to get the drawings and everything together. So thank John, GM him, Hendricks, for what he does. Gabe pushed out 224 cards with graphics. This is insane. This whole card has to be put together. Like, you got to go in and you got to piece this whole card together. If you're not familiar with the template editor that we have, the free downloadable one, that's super quick and easy. You just grab pictures and save your pictures, click them, drop them, all that. It does it all for you. It's super quick and easy. That's not how we do cards, though. This is a very clean, quality, professional look. Everything has to be placed correctly. So Gabe did the abilities. Sure, we might had pretty much all the graphics already done, or a lot of the abilities done as well. 224 cards were done. So reach out. Gabe did a ton of the work for Roots. Pretty much, I won't say all of it, but a heavy majority. So reach out to him. Say thanks. Like, Christmas is, yes, about the birth of Jesus. Absolutely. It's also kind of this spirit of giving. John Hendricks said it best, the spirit of capitalism. Christmas. I like to just say more like a blessing. You don't have to just give someone a present. Give someone a compliment. Thank someone for what they're doing. Jaden does a ton of work. He does Redemption with Jaden. And his videos and his edits are great. And then he goes ahead and does the Lackey stuff as well. I believe Mike does the final Lackey touches. Chris Fashman makes the whole spreadsheet and gives it to Jaden. What Marcus does for the REG and the order, and then we had the deck building document. Marcus was like, "Hey, we should probably do this." It's like, "Cool, that's all right," and then it's done. Joe Schaefer's working on some stuff in the background we're really excited about, and Joe's been swamped. Roy's constantly doing tournaments and just being awesome on Discord. So just look, and then you got John Early flying out to the Thomas J Memorial, Thomas J's funeral, and Thomas J Chambers, and being one of the main supporters for that tournament as well. Andy Fish, same thing with your turn. Just amazing stuff. A lot of volunteer work. goes into this game. Man, I'm feel like I'm forgetting people too. Jay does a lot for just hosting. So if I forgot you, I'm sorry, but thank you for all that you do for this game, the volunteer. I mean, Rob Anderson's son packages up these cards, like him and Rob, and that's like an awesome thing for Rob. So like he gets to sit down with his son Paul and package cards. That's really we get really good time together, but still that's more volunteer work. So hours and hours goes into this game behind the scenes on all sorts of accounts. So just thank some people. It doesn't take much. A DM. You can @ someone in Discord. If you're not in our Discord, go ahead and comment and say, hey, like, can you drop the invite or the link? I will gladly give you the Discord invite. But we are an awesome community, and I really want to kind of encourage some people to say, hey, thanks for what you're doing. Hours and hours and hours go into this game, and it's all volunteer work. So make sure to thank the people that are putting it together. Let's go ahead and flip this thing into a quick demo. I don't have a name for this. It's just purple brown. I've got to name this thing. So I'm also taking name applications. I didn't talk about the soul package. I don't think I really like the soul package right now. We can flip over to it. You get a lot of consistency. You have the distressed. Humble's great. I already talked about the reasons for Humble. Humble is almost a staple. It's as near as a staple as you can get for a non-dominant for a couple of the key cards. I really like Imitate because I am not reliant. I really want those evil characters. So if I can play Imitate, I really like imitating both Humble and Humble or Lawless. I can take out Imitate for the underdeck one to draw one. There's a few other options, but I like Imitate Lawless, especially when I can just go Imitate Lawless on you. Even though it gives you an evil resource, I can at least have some soul gen if I need to in a pinch. Hopper, of course, and Lawless for the obvious reason. So I have Darkness and Lawless to help me get going. Lawless can also give me a hero because I have 2 dual alignments. I like the color guard because I have no protection for Persians. So I really like having that down. And of course, Prosperity. So this is a Lost Soul package I've been using. So let's see. We have our 8. We check our stars. We do have a hero in our hand. That was another way to a hero on an opening 8. That is David's Descendant as well. So even though we're not running as many heroes, we have more ways than most people do to heroes. Now we look from our soul perspective, and this one's a little tough. I always have a tough time with Prosperity. Decks, I feel, are so tight right now. I like Sling Stones. It sounds like Flintstones. I like Sling Stones because it's a negate when I need it, and it helps. It's another CBN protection when I play Buckler. So I really like having Sling Stones. I can get out a Fortress and a King. Like, I can get out a Fortress. I can activate Covenant with David, get a King. I can play Zion, get a hero. I can play David's Tent off of David's Descendant and get a Fortress, and I have Storehouse. Sure, I could discard 1 to draw 2, but I can have an entire offense out. Now, here's the thing. I don't have an evil character. So if I don't need to get a huge chunk of my offense out, I could discard maybe David's Descendant and draw 2. When I see this hand and see the potential I can do, I would opt out of Prosperity, which Josh Potratz would not like that. I like having a negate, maybe Council of Abigail. I discard Council of Abigail since I have Sling Stones, but I'm going to go ahead and opt out of Prosperity. Let's see what we would have gotten. Okay, so I don't feel horrible. An interrupt draw 3 would be nice though. So and then we don't know who gets to go first. If they get to go first, we give them Prosperity, So nothing we can do there. If they go off like Nazareth, then that sucks. We don't have anything right up front to deal with Nazi. So that does hurt us. We don't have as many Nazi counters in here. So that's also something you want to deal with or keep in mind. We can go to our draw 3, imitate humble. And now we can pretty much go crazy. And we want to do this pretty quick. If you do not control a king, you may take a king from deck. Now, before we activated that, we wanted to see our hand. We do know we have Jehu's sword. And we do want Zion to get John the Fisherman. And in order to bring John the Fisherman in, we need Jehu. So I knew I was going to get Jehu regardless, but I was just explaining that I need to know from my hand. So I get Jehu. I can play Prince Jonathan. And I can play Zion as a site. He's royalty. And I can take a hero. And now I can play David's Descendant. And I can go into David's tent. Go into David's tent. Coming in, David. And I can play David's tent. And I could take a 1 Samuel hero. Now I could go to David. I can go to King Saul. I just need to make sure that I have a hero that bans to Jehu. I'm going to take David, because now I have David, Joshua for next turn, Jehu. I want Jotham, but that's okay. So now we are going to go ahead and put down Jehu and sword. I don't know why I said Jotham. Jehoshaphat. So I'm wanting Jehoshaphat so I can start bouncing Jehu. All right, sorry for the awkward break. I did a pause there. That pop-up, that was my friend from work, my project manager, seeing if I wanted to work on another project. I told him, nah, I'm having a good time on vacation. I'm just kidding. I'm going to be tasked. I got put as a lead on a project January 8th. So I have the rest of this week off, next week off, the week after that off, and I'll start up again January 8th. So I'm going to have 4 weeks total off until I start work again. So that is awesome. Okay, let's see. I'm going to be honest. Didn't know. My last move, I did Zion for John the Fisherman. David's tent got out David. Covenant with David got out King Jehu. I think that's good. Put Humble and Zion. And I think we're good to push our attack. I like having the negate in battle. I like spears, the negate, because it can pop, deceiver. That's a really good play. And Uzzah. So that's just another card that I would like to do. I'd like to bring in. Also, awesome job on the 3D art effect. That's really cool. But, yeah, I'm wondering which one's better, but I like keeping the weapon. Like just having a 7-0 is nice when I'm protected a lot. So, okay. Since we have to do the exchange, we got to put John down. So now we have our attack and what we're going to do. So it would be David bans to an OT Red Warrior from hand, reserve, or territory. And you can go to Jehu. And then Jehu can exchange. So discard an evil human if they have one down. and then they get to instead it if they can. So let's see, David, and he can ban 2 OT Red Warrior from territory. I did Jehu. And then you may exchange Jehu with our non-royal human in territory to discard an evil royal human. So I can exchange and then discard again. And then if Jehu uses an OT enhancement, opponent must discard an evil card from hand or territory. So just, I should probably have 20 shekels in here, man. Being able to play evil characters down from their hand for Jehu is way too good. 20 shekels just keeps finding reasons to be in a deck, and I just keep not playing it. So I get the toss. I get the toss and the draw. I got a 7-0 on top of David. Toss the next. Not bad. Potential to hit something there with Jehu. So I like what I have. That would be tough to stop. I would hope they have something that's non-CBN because I do need the draw 3 here. And then really all you have is the council. But I'm hoping they wouldn't have a CBN, like a scattered or something. We don't have to put down stocks. We could keep it in our hand as kind of a bluff to show that we do have more cards in our hand to block with than we actually do. So now they can do what they want. And even without Heyman, it's still a 2-3 that snags an evil card. So I can snag Heyman, and then I can ban to Heyman from hand. So that's also very cool. Now I can negate characters, and I can draw one or take an evil Esther card from deck or reserve. We do need to continue building back up our hand. So then we go ahead and pretty much they get to play, and we do get the interrupt, and then it's a matter of do we want to take Sheol or Babel or Horseman. I really like having Horsies. Then I get to draw 3, and then I get to play an enhancement. Since I had an interrupt draw 3, I probably could have taken Heyman's Plot. I don't like to play Heyman's Plot early unless I need to. Unless they have some characters out really early that I have to get around. I like playing it later because knowing that I have another interrupt draw 3, I could go to Plot and they would have to know I have this interrupt draw 3, or else they would think just don't give them initiative, like normal inish. So then I would have to hope there's heroes in battle for Reap the Whirlwind. If not, I could go back into a Mask of Arrogance and see if I draw into something, but we're good here. We're really, like I said, we really do like having these characters out. And we have everything now. Sure, we would like Queen Vashti, but that's okay. From here, I kind of like going to shields early. Like, it's great to have Valley Assault and stuff, but when I get that protection up front, it's really good. If they have anyone out that I don't like, I can stalk them. And then from here, yeah, I do want the bounce. I'm missing the bounce. I did not imitate Humble again. So I can go back to the Jehu, David. This time David could go David to Joshua, to Jehu to John, which is good. Or I can crowd's choice and get more of that offense going if I want to. Or I could buckler. I could have a protected band. Like I could add on to the band because I have a shields in hand. So I can get a hero. I can get 2 heroes with crowd's choice. It really all depends on what it looks like from a territory. What do I think they have? From this perspective, I think it's fine to play Buckler and go into a CBN rescue with a draw. I think that's really good. It's just a matter of who do I take. If I go Jehoshaphat, that's kind of what I'm looking for and get my bounce going. But I like King Saul with the draw and the shields and all that. But we like Jehoshaphat. So we take a good warrior or weapon from deck. We can give a shuffle. And then we can put down Jehoshaphat. We can keep shields. We don't have to put shields on Jehoshaphat. I like shields on Jehoshaphat because he's a key part of my offense. And then we kind of look at how do we want to attack. It would be David to Joshua. But I have to bounce Jehu after I use him. But Jehu has to exchange to John. So I don't know if there's an actual way to do this. Like if I go King Jehu, then goes to David, and I can leave John out of this time because I have a CBN protected band. I could leave Jehu in the battle as well if I want. I know we do a lot of exchanging with Jehu. I've never banded in Jehu with sword to like get his ability as well off a band. It's not bad. But yeah, I'm trying to think if I go David to reserve to Joshua, Joshua to Jehoshaphat. I don't get to bounce my Jehu. But like I said, I think I have enough warriors to where I can just have 2 CBN protected guys in battle. I think that's okay. So from here, I think we'll go Jehu and go to exchange and do the discard. Go to David, go to reserve, to Joshua, go to Jehoshaphat, bounce, and then Jehoshaphat can band. And from here, I can band to Prince Jonathan and get another protection, or I can go to Jotham and flip him and take a good card from reserve. So not bad. 2 of them are CBN protected. So with a negate in battle, that's extremely difficult to stop. They have to have someone that's regardless of protect. There's very few evil enhancements that regardless of protect. So even though their stuff works, they can't target me. There's not really much they can do. I don't have Melchizedek out. If I wanted to, I could have. But yeah, there's not much they can do. I'm going to go ahead and throw the weapon on Xerxes. Now, we don't have to throw that weapon on Xerxes. We can play Horseman as a Persian. Because we can go to Irrational Rage and get that extra. But, man, Persian horses on a Persian in a band is very good. And remember, we do want to put down Jehu with sword. So, I feel really good at this point. If they attack, I start picking apart their defense with Jehu. And I can exchange. Now, I would have to exchange with... I can't exchange to King Xerxes because it's non-royal. So I'd have to go to Zeresh since I didn't put down Gomer. I just slid it down there. But yeah, I'd have to put down Gomer and flip to Gomer. If not, I would have to go straight to Zeresh. And that would kind of ruin it. So I need to remember that. Just early, first time, kind of running through it. So yeah, I'd go Jehu, hit their stuff in territory, hit their hand, go to Gomer, and then I can go to Xerxes, play an evil OT Fortress from reserve. So now it's just a matter of what do they have. Do I want to play Babel, or do I want to get the add to battle? If opponent has play advantage, I don't know if they'd have play advantage at this point with Jehu shenanigans and stocks. But that's okay. The fact that I just have this is good already. And then may ban to a human Persian. Top 6. Take an evil card. If I take Murder's Command, my next draw would be Great White Throne, Hopper, which turns into Royal Parade and King Saul. So, or I can take Vashti. My next draw would be these 4, and then Great White Throne can take whatever. So I think I take Queen Vashti, since I have Sheol. If I didn't have Sheol, I'd take Murder's Command. And then I can ban to Haman. And then I can take an Evil Esther card. I already looked at reserve, because I'm going to probably take Irrational Rage here. Oh, I forgot Persian. Have to remember King Xerxes and the ban waits for Persian. So technically I would have forgotten that. So I can draw 2 or discard an artifact. Since we don't know what artifacts you have, right? But that's really good right now. If a Persian is in play, you may take an OT Brown enhancement from reserve. And then Haman can go in and snag the other. Or I can go and grab Haman's plot. I feel like this is good. I don't know, I kind of want plot here. Getting plot happy. That's what I would do. Depending on what they play, they have to have the CBN play on me. But then I got the Mask of Arrogance, the draw, the color guard, and I go right into the discard. You start hitting these heroes. I said on my Roots preview video that I don't know if we're going to see Chariot of Fire just because people aren't playing that way, but the more that we start killing heroes again, the more that I think Chariot of Fire is a reserve card that people can snag. So, do my draw 3. Don't forget to imitate Humble, and our other upkeep is Storehouse. We have 16 cards in hand, which is pretty crazy, just thinking it's like brown that I maxed out my hand. I know it's weird, but I really like Second Coming to Buckler, but there's really no reason to do that. I can just go to Son of God, rescue, go to Second Coming, get Son of God, rescue. Feel like I would have 4 at this point. I could either capture them, go to Great White Throne, banish, deck, grab a hero. I could grab Melchizedek too, just in case I have anything for protecting Lost Souls, or anything for Lost Soul protection. Throw down Melchizedek, and now I have a really big band. If there's anything I need from the reserve, I can get it with Crowd's Choice. Same with deck. I can get out my last hero if I want. Kind of do an onslaught here. And then my final attack is just this massive thing of warriors where most of them are protected. Yeah, from here we can put down Armor Bearer. We can go King Saul, draw 1. I thought I shuffled you. We can look at the top 6. Take. They would go into play. And I can band. Go here to here to here to here to here, and I bounce Jehu, and then I ban to a warrior, and Jehu can exchange to John, and he can show them woes or angel. I can draw my last card, and from this perspective, John's now protected because of, oh, Jehu's protected. Jehu is protected. Darn. That'd be really cool. But, so yeah, shields is not ideal for Jehoshaphat. Noted. We'd like shields to be on another hero so we could have 2 heroes protected. But now we have David protected. John's in battle. I'm tossing the first. I have Angel of the Lord. I have Woes. I have Valley Assault. Royal Parade. You wouldn't want to use both your stuff. You'd want to go Walking on Water to show them. Testing Solomon. Like, we have so much. We don't really use a bunch of our enhancements because of the big bands and the protection and the tossing. I would like to try to fit in Choose the Blocker, but once again, it's already a tight build because we're a little heavier defense, and we try to kind of chip away everything they have. So I think it's a lot of fun. I like the banding. I like all the stuff you can do. I like flipping Jehu. I think 20 shekels and Book of the Law are the right play. I just feel like you lose stocks. And I really don't like losing stocks. It's so good. But maybe that's something we have to do. Maybe like Hopper and stocks come out, and Book of the Law and whatever it was, 20 shekels comes in. But yeah, if you can look at their hand, 20 shekels is a hand look, so that's also good. But if you force him to put an evil character down, or just a character down, and you have Jehu and Woman as snares, and Haman's plots, and King Xerxes and Irrational Rage, it's very, very strong. So, need to get other ways to bounce Jehu and play characters from your hand, like I already said, but I really like this build. A lot of strong enhancements and just big bans, because I'm not really too worried about by the number stuff because a lot of my enhancements don't work. I can make Royal Parade CBP with Jotham, but a lot of my enhancements aren't going to work with negated stuff. Like, that won't work, that won't work, that won't work, that don't work, that doesn't work. But because I have such big bans, if you're negating things, like, you have to get around my big band with Jehu and stuff. So with Joshua, like, I'm hitting everything all at once, just full on onslaught. So I really like it. I don't have a deck name. Purple Brown. No deck name. But it is on Discord. I'll continue to edit this and share updated edits as I'm done. I do think this is strong. I do think it can get stronger, and it can be brought to a cleaner version, like 50 cards in an actual legal reserve. But what there is, it's very good. So, like I said, tons of content coming on the channel. Roots has put out all sorts of awesome stuff. Make sure you don't make sure, but I would love it if you just reached out to all these volunteers that make this game a reality. And John Hendricks, thank you for doing the podcast. I know that's a burden, even though it's fun. I enjoy it. I know the community does. So I know you work a lot of hours. So usually you haven't made it this far in the video anyway, so I don't know why I'm thanking you again. But y'all be good. I'll probably wait. My buddy's coming up Thursday. We're going snowboarding Friday, and then it's holiday, so this will probably be the last video of the week. But that is okay. So Merry Christmas, and I'll do another video next week. See y'all.